pop culture, trends, the ads on the subway, and the popular girls. These are just a few of the many, many things that I used to define my beauty up until I was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 29. When I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I faced many, many challenges, but the most difficult of them all was the challenge of losing my hair to chemotherapy. And so I found myself grappling with a diagnosis that no one should have to face at that age, and with making decisions that no one should have to make at that age. But ask yourself this: how do you even begin to show up for yourself when you don't even recognize the face that's staring back at you in the mirror? Because for us women, hair is so much more than just hair, right? It's identity, it's culture, and it's history. And so hair loss, transactionally, it's the loss of identity, culture, and history, right? Well, at least this is what I thought at the beginning of my journey now 5 years ago. And I thought this until I realized that cancer is just one chapter in my story, and that it's up to me to write the next chapter. And so rather than spending my energy wishing for a different life or a different circumstance, I decided to redefine myself right here and right now as the main character of my story, as the protagonist. And so I summoned the courage to begin to connect, or rather reconnect, with that long estranged face in the mirror. And it dawned on me that just because I lost my hair, it didn't mean that I'd lost my crown. But those words that I kept hearing stuck with me. Just wear a wig and deal with it, or just put on a scarf and call it a day. Or my favorite, or rather my least favorite, at least you have a nice shaped head. Yeah. But none of these responses or solutions that I got from society felt like they were designed for a woman that was facing the challenges that I was facing. And so I decided to take matters into my own hands because, well, they don't always tell you this in the fairy tales, but sometimes a queen has to make her own crown, right? And so one day, after a full day of my infusions at my chemotherapy appointment, I decided to take what little strength I had left that day and use it to walk the 4 blocks between my hospital to the nearest fabric shop. And once I got there, I found that my mental state had completely changed. Instead of thinking about how many treatments I had left that year or about the surgeries that I would need, my thoughts began to look to the future with hope. Whether it was a jewel tone velvet fabric that made me think of the holidays, or a beautiful linen that just mentally transported me to the beach, each fabric that I picked up helped me dream of what the future could look like. And so I had this crazy realization. What if I literally wear my dreams through my fabrics? Whether I'm in the infusion chair, getting prepped for surgery, or just simply recovering at home. I quickly assessed my budget for that day at the fabric shop, and I brought home a few yards of my favorite cloths. And then, as I began to experiment with my sewing machine, I gravitated towards the elegant, timeless, and feminine silhouette of the turban. And as my personal turban collection began to grow, so did my confidence as I regained my voice and my power through fashion. This process of turning cloth into confidence repeated each time I went for treatment. And by the end of my chemotherapy, I decided to take the bold leap and launch a company to share the power of fashion with other women just like me. The personal transformation that I experienced through fashion could only be described as one thing, and that thing was called StyleEsteem. Today, we at StyleEsteem create turbans and headwear for every season and occasion to spread StyleEsteem to all women of all backgrounds, regardless of culture, religion, or hair journey. Through our Give Back mission, thousands of cancer patients have received a StyleEsteem turban free of cost. Our turbans have also graced the runways to raise awareness for cancer, and we are more determined than ever to continue working with our nonprofit, hospital, and community partners to help women who are facing cancer feel beautiful and strong. This year, we launched our premier couture collection. Thank you. This collection honored headwear throughout history, and I thought it was a really important time to stop and take a look back at the 4,000-year-long history of turbans and of headwear. And this is because it also gives us a chance to remember that we too are part of that history. Because hair or no hair, we are using fashion to write the next chapters of our story. And because nothing can stand in our way as living as our most authentic selves. So whether your throne is the infusion chair or one of the chairs in this very room, remember that no one and nothing can take your crown away. And along with embracing a personal style that tells and celebrates your story, that is true to your history and your culture, I also want to remind you that confidence comes from knowing yourself well. And for this, we need to go beyond skin deep. And I'm so grateful that today's event has thoughtfully highlighted health and to have this platform to share my story with you. Because when you know your health, you stand taller and your confidence flows from within. And just so you know, doing my monthly self-breast exam saved my life. And if I could leave you with some homework, it would be to honor your community, your family, and yourself by taking care of your breast health. Now, I want to show you just how easy this is. A monthly breast self-exam literally takes less than 2 minutes, and it can save your life. So if you'll indulge me, I'd love it if we could do our monthly glam self-exam together. Are you with me? Okay. Thank you. So if we could all stand up, this will take less than 2 minutes. Okay. So ideally, you'd be doing this at home, standing in front of a mirror with no clothing on your upper half. So first, I want you to do a visual exam. So you'll do this by putting your hands on your hips like this and looking in the mirror, turning slowly from side to side, and visually examining your chest. I want you to look for anything that feels abnormal to you. So that can include dimpling, rippling, any sort of inversion of the nipple, any sort of unusual mass, texture, or discharge. You let me know if I'm doing a good job, please. So once you've completed your visual exam, you can pick one arm and put it above your head like so. I want you to use the opposite hand and take 3 fingers. I want you to apply a gentle pressure in a bit of a circular motion and go into your underarm and physically examine the length of your underarm. I want you to apply a little bit of pressure because I want you to be able to feel beneath the surface. Once you've done this, you can put your arm down. And now, taking the same 3 fingers on the same side that you started with, I want you to use an up and down motion like this as you go around your breast. So you can go just like this using the same pressure to feel around your breast, correct? Then I want you to do the same thing just to get a different vantage point in a circular motion, going all the way around, like so. Now once you've done that, take the same 3 fingers and use that same technique to check your collarbone area, right? And the length of your neck going up and down. Applying that same gentle pressure so that you can feel what's beneath the surface. Now, the whole idea is that we should be doing this monthly because, God forbid, if anything changes, you will have remembered what your normal is and you'll know there's something different happening, maybe I should talk to my doctor. So, this is how simple it is. Now, you're halfway done. You've done one side, all you have to do is repeat this on the other side. And if you do this exam once a month, even by putting a reminder in your calendar, in your phone, that's great. If you can share it with one other person in your community, male or female, that's even better. And so before I leave you, I just want to remind you that dressing for empowerment, which was my original topic, it means choosing a personal style that not only tells but also celebrates your story. And that each of you has royalty inside of you. Crowns are not given, they are a given. So just remember that. Thank you.